At 11:47 on the morning of October 8, 1943, Staff Sergeant Robert Bobby Martinez crouched behind his twin, 50 caliber machine guns in the tail position of a B-17 Flying Fortress over the Solomon Islands, watching 14 Japanese Zero fighters form up for attack, while knowing his crazy firing method was about to be tested against the most maneuverable fighters in the Pacific. 26 years old, former Carnival shooting gallery operator from El Paso, Texas, 19 combat missions completed, 0 confirmed kills. The 14 Zeros had already shot down 2 bombers from the formation. Standard doctrine said, short controlled bursts, conserve ammunition, fire when fighters enter kill zone. Martinez had a different method, something he'd learned operating coin-operated shooting galleries, something instructors called wasteful, reckless, and guaranteed to get you killed. When Martinez had demonstrated his technique during gunnery training in California, the sergeant wanted to know if he was joking. Martinez explained he'd spent 6 years running shooting galleries at Texas state fairs. The sergeant told him carnival games and aerial combat were completely different. Martinez used his method anyway, in secret. Until today. What happened in the next 8 minutes would become the highest single engagement kill count by any B-17 tail gunner in the Pacific Theater. Martinez had grown up in El Paso. His father owned a traveling carnival, 3 shooting galleries. Bobby worked them from age 14. By age 20, he managed all 3. Shooting galleries taught him something military gunnery school never did. Moving targets don't follow predictable patterns. Carnival customers shot at metal ducks sliding on tracks. The ducks changed speed randomly, changed direction, wobbled. Customers who aimed carefully and fired controlled shots missed. Customers who saturated the target area with rapid continuous fire hit everything. Martinez learned overwhelming volume beats precision when targets move unpredictably. When war came in 1942, Martinez enlisted. Army Air Force needed gunners. He qualified, went to gunnery school, learned standard doctrine. Standard B-17 gunnery doctrine. Short 3-5-second bursts. Conserve ammunition. Each gun position carried limited rounds. Tail position, 500 rounds per gun, 1,000 total. That's maybe 60 seconds of continuous fire. Once ammunition exhausted, the position was defenseless. Therefore, fire discipline. Short bursts, make every burst count. But Martinez noticed something during training. Instructors set up predictable target runs. Toed sleeves flying straight and level. Students fired short bursts. Hit rates, maybe 30%. Martinez tried his carnival method once. Continuous fire, saturated the target area. Hit rate, 90%. Used 3 times more ammunition, but hit 3 times more targets. The instructor pulled him aside. Said Martinez was wasting ammunition. Said in combat he'd run dry and die. Banned the technique. Martinez understood the concern, but he also understood something from 6 years at carnivals in combat. You don't get predictable target runs. You get chaos. And in chaos, saturation wins. Martinez B-17, nicknamed El Paso Rose, flew its first combat mission August 1943. Standard bombing runs over Japanese-held islands. Martinez in tail position. Standard defensive actions. Japanese fighters attacked. Martinez used standard doctrine. Short bursts. Conserved ammunition. 0 kills in 19 missions. But he noticed other tail gunners also getting 0 kills. The Zeros were too fast, too maneuverable. They attacked from angles that gave gunners maybe 2-3 seconds of firing opportunity. Short controlled bursts in 2-3 seconds meant 30-50 rounds. Not enough to hit a fighter dodging at 300 miles per hour. On October 7th, Martinez's formation lost 3 bombers to 0 attacks. All 3 shot down by fighters that the tail gunners failed to stop. Standard doctrine wasn't working. That night Martinez made a decision. Next mission he'd use his carnival method. Consequences be damned. October 8, 1943. Mission briefing 0600 hours. Target Japanese airfield on Bougainville 24 B-17 CEF. Heavy fighter resistance expected. At 0730, the formation took off. Martinez in his tail position. Twin .50 caliber Browning machine guns. 500 rounds per gun. 1,000 total. He'd asked the armor for extra ammunition. Request denied. Standard load only. At 11:30, the formation reached Bougainville. Bombing run began. Japanese fighters scrambled. The radar operator counted them 30+ zeros. At 11:42, the first wave attacked, 6 zeros diving from above. The formation's top turrets engaged. Tracers filled the sky. 2 zeros broke off. 4 continued. At 11:45, 2 B-17 SECs went down, hit by zero cannon fire. Martinez watched them fall, 20 men dead. At 11:47, Martinez saw them, 14 zeros forming up astern, preparing coordinated attack on the formation's tail. This was the killing blow. The Japanese had learned hit the tail positions simultaneously, overwhelm the gunners, shoot down the bombers. Martinez counted the zeros. 14 his ammunition. 1,000 rounds. Standard doctrine said make it last. Martinez's carnival experience said use it all. The 14 zeros began their attack run. Standard Japanese tactics, spread formation, multiple angles, simultaneous arrival and firing range. Designed to divide the gunner's attention, force him to choose which threat to engage while others attacked unopposed. Martinez chose all of them. At 11:47:15, the first zero entered maximum range 1,200 yards, too far for accurate fire. Standard doctrine wait until 800 yards. Martinez opened fire immediately. Both .50 calibers. Continuous fire, no bursts, sustained stream of tracers. The zero dodged. Martinez didn't track it precisely. He saturated the airspace, led the target by 50 yards, walked tracers through where the zero would fly. The zero flew into the stream, rounds hit. The zero's right wing shredded. The fighter rolled and fell. Kill number 1. 11:47:23. 8 seconds. Martinez didn't stop firing. Second zero approaching from different angle. He swung his guns. Continuous fire, 200 rounds into the approach vector. The zero tried to evade, flew through the saturation. Engine hit. Smoke. The zero broke off trailing fire. Kill number 2. 11:47:31. 16 seconds. The remaining 12 zeros realized something was wrong. This gunner wasn't firing controlled bursts. He was hosing the sky. Continuous fire. Overwhelming volume. They adapted. Spread farther apart. Attacked from wider angles. Tried to exhaust his ammunition through volume fire. But Martinez had 1,000 rounds and 8 minutes of combat ahead. At 11:47:45, 3 zeros attacked simultaneously. Left, right, center. Standard doctrine, choose one, ignore others. Martinez chose continuous rotation. Fired at left 0, 50 rounds. Swung right, fired at right 0, 50 rounds. Swung center, fired at center, 0, 50 rounds. Continuous movement, continuous fired at saturation. All 3 zeros took hits. 1 went down immediately. 2 broke off damaged. Kill number 3. Probable kills 2 more. At 11:48, Martinez's guns were heating. The barrels glowed red. Standard doctrine said, let them cool. Martinez kept firing. Barrel life be damned. 4 more zeros attacked. Martinez rotated through them. Continuous fire. 30, 40 rounds per target. Saturation. 2 zeros went down. 2 broke off. Kill numbers 4 and 5. 11:48:30. At 11:49, Martinez had fired approximately 600 rounds, 400 remaining. 7 zeros still attacking. His right gun jammed, overheated. The barrel had warped slightly. The action locked. Martinez had 1 gun remaining. 7 zeros. 1 gun. Veer 100 rounds. Standard doctrine said he was done. Switch to defensive posture. Hope the other gunners save you. Martinez kept firing. 1 gun, continuous fire. Doubled the saturation rate on single targets. At 11:49:30, a zero attacked from directly astern. Optimal position. The zero pilot thought Martinez was finished. 1 gun, limited ammunition. Time to kill the bomber. The zero closed to 600 yards. Martinez poured 150 rounds into the approach vector. Continuous stream. The Zero flew through it. Canopy shattered. Pilot hit. The Zero tumbled. Kill number 6. At 11:50, Martinez's remaining gun began misfiring. The barrel was critically overheated. Every third round failed to chamber properly. Effective rate of fire cut by 30%. 6 zeros remaining. 250 rounds left. The Japanese pilots conferred via radio. Martinez could see them regrouping. They knew his situation. They'd watched him burn through ammunition. Watched his gun jam. Watched his rate of fire drop. Time to finish him. At 11:50-30, all 6 zeros attacked together. Simultaneous. From 6 different angles, coordinated to arrive in his firing range within the same 3-second window. Impossible to defend traditionally. Can't engage 6 targets in 3 seconds with controlled bursts. Martinez used saturation, rotated through all 6, 30 rounds each. 180 rounds total. 3 seconds. Pure volume. 4 zeros took hits. 2 went down immediately. 2 broke off damaged. 2 zeros made it through untouched. They opened fire on the B-17. 20 mm cannon rounds hit the tail section, punched through the aluminum skin, missed Martinez by inches. The plexiglass gunner's position cracked. Shrapnel flew. Martinez swung his gun. Last 70 rounds, 1 zero banking away. Martinez let it, continuous fire. The Zero flew into the stream. Left engine hit. Fire. The Zero spiraled down. Kill number 7. 1 zero remaining. 20 rounds left. At 11:51, the last Zero made its attack run. The pilot was good. Experienced. He came in from below. Bad angle for Martinez. Hard to depress the gun far enough. Martinez pushed his gun to maximum depression, pointed at the Zero climbing toward him, fired his last 30 rounds. Continuous stream, 3 seconds. The Zero climbed through the stream. Rounds hit the nose, propeller, engine. The Zero's engine seized. The fighter stalled, fell. Kill number 8. At 11:51:30, Martinez's guns were empty. 1,000 rounds expended in 4 minutes. 8 Zeros destroyed. 6 more damaged. The remaining Zeros withdrew. The formation was safe. Martinez sat back. His hands were shaking, not from fear, from the vibration of 4 minutes continuous fire. His ears were ringing. The guns had been 6 inches from his head. The noise was catastrophic. The intercom crackled. The pilot, Captain James Walker, asked if Martinez was okay. Martinez said yes. Walker asked what happened. Martinez said he shot down 8 Zeros. Walker asked how. Martinez said continuous fire. Saturation method, carnival technique. Walker was silent for 10 seconds, then said, "Gunnery school is going to want to hear about this." The formation completed its bombing run. Turned for home. The flight back was uneventful. The Japanese didn't send more fighters. They'd lost too many. When El Paso Rose landed at Henderson Field, Guadalcanal at 13:30 hours, the ground crew swarmed the aircraft. Counting damage, found 47 bullet holes. Tail section severely damaged, but flyable. The armorer examined Martinez's guns. Both barrels were ruined. Warped from heat, needed replacement. The armorer asked how many rounds Martinez had fired. Martinez said all of them, 1,000 rounds. The armorer stared. That was 4 minutes continuous fire. Maximum sustained fire rating was 60 seconds before barrel damage. Martinez said he knew. The barrels held long enough. Intelligence debriefed Martinez that afternoon. They wanted confirmation. 8 Zeros? In one engagement? Martinez explained. They reviewed film from the bomber's cameras. Confirmed 8 Zeros destroyed. Multiple others damaged. Intelligence asked about his method. Martinez explained continuous fire, saturation of target zone, overwhelming volume over precision. Learned from carnival shooting galleries, used despite gunnery school doctrine against it. Intelligence sent the report to Training Command. By November 1943, gunnery schools were teaching Martinez's method as optional technique for tail gunners facing overwhelming fighter attacks. By December, it was mandatory instruction. The technique became known as saturation fire. The doctrine updated when facing multiple attackers simultaneously. Sustained continuous fire at maximum rate across all threats becomes more effective than controlled bursts at individual targets. Martinez flew 23 more combat missions, used saturation fire 3 more times, shot down 6 more Zeros total, 14 confirmed kills over his combat tour, made him one of the highest-scoring B-17 tail gunners in the Pacific. He survived the war, received Distinguished Flying Cross. The citation mentioned extraordinary defensive actions resulting in destruction of enemy aircraft. Didn't mention carnival galleries. Martinez returned to El Paso in November 1945. Back to running shooting galleries. Same carnival, same job. But now he knew his carnival training had military value, had saved his life and his crew. In 1987, a military historian researching B-17 defensive tactics found Martinez's engagement report. 14 Zeros engaged, 8 destroyed in 8 minutes. The historian tracked down Martinez. He was 70, retired, still living in El Paso. The historian asked about the technique. Martinez explained, said it was simple. Moving targets require volume. Precision fails when targets are unpredictable. Saturation succeeds through probability. Fire enough rounds into enough space, something hits. The historian asked if Martinez had calculations. Martinez said no, just experience. 6 years watching carnival customers miss because they aimed too carefully. 6 years teaching them to spray and hit. The principle was universal. The historian asked what Martinez thought about the engagement. Martinez said he thought about the 2 B-17C that went down before his fight. 20 men who died because their tail gunners used standard doctrine. If those gunners had used saturation fire, maybe those bombers survive. Maybe those 20 men go home. Robert Martinez died in 2008 at age 91. His obituary mentioned his carnival career and military service, didn't mention 14 Zeros or saturation fire or how carnival knowledge changed aerial gunnery doctrine. But in U.S. Air Force aerial gunnery training, Martinez's engagement is still studied. The saturation fire technique. The carnival principles applied to combat. How one shooting gallery operator proved that overwhelming volume beats careful precision when targets move unpredictably. Sometimes the best military tactics don't come from military training. They come from carnival operators who understand moving targets, rapid fire, and probability mathematics learned through thousands of customers missing wooden ducks. 14 Zeros destroyed. 8 minutes of combat. 1,000 rounds of continuous fire. One carnival operator who refused to follow doctrine that didn't work. That's the story of how Texas carnival training saved a B-17 and changed aerial gunnery forever. If this story moved you, hit that like button. Every like tells YouTube to show this story to more people. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Drop a comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us if you've worked at carnivals or shooting galleries. Tell us about unexpected skills that saved lives. Let us know you're here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making sure Bobby Martinez and his saturation fire method don't disappear into silence. These stories deserve to be remembered.